I'm going to blow up the spot, but I like the F train.
That's my train.
I'm on the F. It's my train, too.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Here's the Scoop from NBC News. I'm Yasmin Vossoughian. It is Friday, and we have a very exciting special guest on the show today. It is Kareem Rahma from the social media phenomenon Subway Takes, joining us to talk about his new YouTube show, Keep the Meter Running. We're going to get into why this one is more him than Subway Takes, plus the worst advice he has ever gotten from a media executive. But first, there is a new jobs report out, and surprisingly, the top line is actually positive. The U.S. economy added 172,000 jobs in May, nearly 100,000 more than was actually expected. President Donald Trump is, of course, taking a victory lap on Truth Social, and it is definitely a sign that parts of the economy are staying strong, even with high energy costs and inflation from the war in Iran. But there is still concern about wage growth being lower than inflation. And the Federal Reserve is more likely to raise interest rates this year than cut them. So what do these jobs numbers tell us about how Americans are experiencing this economy? And what else in the economy should we be watching as the war continues? For this, I want to bring in Chief Business Correspondent Christine Romans for NBC News. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Yaz.
All right, let's talk about these jobs numbers. Given inflation, given wage growth, given gas prices, were you expecting to see these numbers?
These are stronger than I was expecting, honestly. And it's 3 months in a row of a pretty good performance from companies hiring people. The best 3 months, I think, since 2024. 2024 was a gangbuster year for job creation. 2025 was pretty weak. The weakest year not being a recession since, I don't know, like 2003 or something. So just keep that in mind. Last year was not a great year. We started this year a little uneven. And I was worried. A lot of people were watching to see what was happening with jobs in the beginning of the year. And then 3 months in a row, strong performance. And it's pretty broad-based. So this is something that economists are happy to see. Companies are still hiring.
What jobs are we seeing the biggest growth in? What sectors?
A lot of healthcare jobs, and that has been consistent for years. And these can be jobs, a home health aide. They can be the janitor who cleans a hospital, all the way up to surgeons and physician's assistants and higher paid jobs. There's a big spectrum of wages in those healthcare jobs. We saw a lot of leisure and hospitality jobs, and turns out we think some of that is World Cup hiring. It's also summer. May is like kids are getting out of college. They're getting jobs as barbacks, and they're working in bars and restaurants, and we're getting ready for the summer. And I'll tell you something. And I've seen this in the numbers, and I've heard this from CEOs. People are complaining like crazy about expenses and affordability, and they're still spending their money, right? They're furious about grocery prices and gas prices, and they're still booking cruises, and they're still booking airline tickets, and they're still going out to dinner. So you're seeing that kind of in this hiring. Some of this hiring shows you these are consumer-facing jobs. These are regular people spending money facing jobs. And those jobs seem to be booming actually right now.
You talked about college kids. It's graduation time, right? What is this job market looking like for them? What are their prospects right now?
Well, that's really the big question, right? Because we keep hearing all about AI spending, and that's going to sort of cancel out these early entry-level jobs. But, Bank of America this week announced it's hiring a few thousand right out of college kids. Like, they're still hiring these entry-level positions because they know they don't want to have like a gap in a few years. You hear all these concerns about artificial intelligence taking over these jobs, but you do have some of the big companies are still hiring their graduates right out of school. Anecdotally, I mean, because I have kids sort of in this age range, I know kids who are graduating right now and they don't have jobs yet. That happens kind of every year. But a 4.3% unemployment rate, that's good. That is actually a number that would be enviable any other time. We are so used to a booming job market where there are way more jobs available than people to take them, that this transition to a more normal job market, it feels a little weird, I think, for some people.
So the president, Christine, has taken a victory lap today, and part of that victory lap is heading to Wisconsin. He's hoping to rally support from rural voters, specifically farmers as well. We actually heard on the show recently about farmers. I talked to Peter Nicholas about this. in Iowa, and how they're struggling financially, especially because of the holdup in the Strait of Hormuz. But many of them are still supporting the president. Many of them voted for him and still supporting him. How is the farming industry doing overall? And is it harder for the administration to count on their support amidst kind of the economic troubles they are facing?
I mean, I just spoke with a farmer in Iowa who spent 10 minutes complaining about fertilizer prices and how that was going to be a real problem for him this planting season. And then he told me that Donald Trump had made the best economy of his lifetime. Both of those things he thinks were true. And that is sort of what you hear from farmers. They are being just squeezed by all these higher costs. Yet in some cases, land prices are pretty high, grain prices are high. They're just hoping that their farm income can keep up. I've seen this movie before where farmers are hurt by Donald Trump's policies and they only double down in their support of Donald Trump. That has been such an interesting factor in both times he's been president.
What is your overall take of this economy, especially with these jobs reports coming out, coupled with what we're seeing with inflation, with gas prices? Are you seeing signs for concern, or should we be listening to the president when he says, for instance, you should have faith in American businesses?
It's a bunch of contradictions. I think that the overall baseline economy is stronger than anybody thinks it is. And the reason is because people are so exhausted by higher prices that is the focus of their ire on the higher prices. But the job market, 4.3% unemployment rate, that's good. Record highs in the stock market, although today they're concerned about these job numbers. Ironically, they're concerned because they're so strong, they think the Fed might be able to raise interest rates next. And so that's shaking the stock market a little bit today. But you've got this split screen, record highs in the stock market, top line numbers about the economy that are still strong, but prices that are too high. And it's the prices that really, really affect everyone. Not everybody feels a strong job market. Not everybody feels a strong housing market. Not everyone feels a high stock market, but everybody feels it when you have to pay more for something. And so that's why the sentiment, I think, is so sour.
Christine Romans, thank you.
You're welcome, Yaz.
So if you're wondering who Kareem Rahma is, think the Subway Takes guy. It's a social media show where celebrities and regular people share hot takes while riding the subway and talking into a microphone clipped to an MTA card. It's become this huge phenomenon. The Wall Street Journal called it a, quote, integral part of the New Age press tour. Everybody from Kate Blanchett to Colin Jost to New York City Mayor Mamdani have shared a plastic subway seat and their take with Kareem. But then on his new YouTube show, Keep the Meter Running, Kareem abandons public transportation for yellow cabs, and instead of passengers, he's actually interviewing the cabbies. So I wanted to talk to Kareem about his very public journeys and why he's gone more mainstream, both in his transport and in his shows. And I was thrilled to talk with him earlier this week. Hi, Kareem.
Hi.
It's great to have you.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
So before you had Subway Takes, you had started this podcast company that was focused on supporting people of color, right? Especially of possibly Middle Eastern heritage. You're from Egypt. Do you feel like this is like a return to your roots? I'm from Iran. You're from Egypt,
You know, the return to my roots is the conversational element of all of the things that I do. I saw a hilarious meme the other day that was like getting political news from the news, and then it's like getting political advice from a foreigner cab driver in another country. And it's just so accurate that like that conversation is the most riveting, interesting thing you can possibly do. So I think getting back to my roots is the conversational element of life, which I think we are lacking as a country.
It's so funny that you talk about that because I want to get into all of that, right? Because I travel a lot for my job. I was a foreign correspondent for a long time. I said I'm Middle Eastern. Like literally when you get information and experiences about a country that you're in, it's from the cab driver. When you want to understand like the pulse of the country, the politics of the country, it's talking to a cab driver. And you have this new show out, right? Keep the Meter Running, where you're literally getting in a cab and they're taking you wherever they want, right? Where did you get the idea for that show?
So my father was a cabbie, and when he passed away, I felt like I had a hole in my heart, which is that I just wanted some advice from like people that reminded me of him. And he was just a working class immigrant, and I think the closest comp is these cab drivers. It doesn't matter what country they're from. It doesn't even matter what advice they have. because sometimes your dad's advice is awful, and sometimes their advice is awful.
Yeah.
And so this kind of idea generated from a real thing that happened where I was going over the Williams River Bridge in a cab. I was getting broken up with. I was quite upset, and I was telling the cabbie my story. He was giving me this amazing fatherly advice about how there's plenty of fish in the sea, and a cliche.
Of course.
And we get to my apartment, and I go, man, this has been so helpful. If you want to keep hanging out, I would love to do it. And he said, I would love to, but I'll have to keep the meter running. I stepped out of the cab, and I wrote "keep the meter running" in my notes app. And I think it was like 3 years later that I actually was like, I'm going to do this now.
There was a guy that you talked to, a cabbie that you talked to. His name was Hani.
Yeah.
And you talk about how he reminded you of your dad. I want to play that.
Listening to Hani today, I heard my dad. I saw him too, and it made me miss him all over again. My Baba's been gone for a while now, and every day I wish I could call him to ask for his opinion on something, to get some advice, to have him tell me how to do this thing called life, how to be a man, how to be a friend, and most importantly, how to be a father. But spending the day with Hani made me realize that my dad's spirit is always around me.
You are a new father, too. I lost my dad about 15 years ago. I called him Baba, too. Baba in Farsi. But it's funny because sometimes when I walk around the city, like I'll see old man legs, and they remind me of my father. I know that sounds weird.
No, that's great. That's really a nice observation. I'm serious. That's a nice observation.
But it's like, and I'm like, Dad? And then, no, he's not here. But what do you want the takeaway to be?
I think everybody's interesting if you give them a platform. And I think, cab drivers and so many other working class people are invisible. And you get in a cab, you don't say hi, you don't even look up and look at the person in the eyes. And it's not even just cab drivers. It's baristas. It's the guy at the deli. It's literally the people in your life that are making life possible. And I guess I want people to walk away from the show with a more open approach to life. I think a lot of people are closed off right now. I think a lot of people are scared. And I've had this guiding principle in my life that like 99.9% of people are good. I think it's a very small amount of people that are actually like evil or bad.
You know what I also think it is like lack of exposure, which I think is something that you're doing, is exposing people to others that don't look like them, that don't sound like them, that don't have the same experience as them, but understanding like in their hearts they have the similar kind of dreams, ambitions, wants in life.
Yeah, and that was a really surprising element of the show is that, I hail a cab, I meet, there's an episode coming out today with this guy, Homero, and he took me salsa dancing on Long Island with his fiance.
Yeah.
And we went on a double date with my wife.
Okay.
And it was so much fun. And he's in such a good mood. It's like the opposite of what you think about. Like if you just got in a cab with him, you wouldn't know that he's this amazing salsa dancer with a beautiful fiance that goes out dancing every Saturday night with her and is like a hopeless romantic that
so awesome.
vacations in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
And that makes your perspective just shift a little bit.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the show is also just like kind of therapy for myself. Subway Takes is obviously a massive popular hit. A lot, I'm kind of playing a character in that. It's not really me per se. It's me plus a character. And that's why I wear the sunglasses. Like, this is the Subway Takes guy. Keep the Meter Running is me. It's Kareem.
Yeah.
And it allows me to kind of share more about myself and what I'm going through than Subway Takes.
You were actually in negotiations with CNN, right? What you're doing now is a YouTube show. You have Subway Takes. Do you feel as if like networks, the big three, all that stuff, do you think it's kind of dead? Like, do you think the future is where you're at? Why did you guys stop negotiating with them?
I don't think that they're dead. I think, to me, the best approach to all of this is going to be a hybrid perspective from both the big networks, the big studios, and the creators, right? Like, I have ambitions beyond being on your phone, and they have ambitions to get on the phone. So I think this collaboration is going to be very key. The two biggest movies right now are made by YouTubers, Obsession and Backrooms.
Yeah, we just did something on Obsession last week.
And they're playing in movie theaters.
Yeah.
But it's a different experience than him just putting the movie on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, he still needed the traditional idea of let's go to a movie theater and watch this movie.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of magic that can happen when people are willing to collaborate. Unfortunately, with CNN, who I liked CNN, I was like, it's the home of Bourdain. Like,
Yeah.
this would be a great home for it. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And these negotiations,
Take a long
I'm like, dude, we could have
time.
made the show already 5 times. I
Welcome to
can't.
my life.
Exactly. And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And because like I couldn't move my life forward without doing Keep the Meter Running.
Kareem Rahma, we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and play a game. You into it?
I love games.
Okay. So we're going to leave you with a segment that we call the Extra Scoop. It is a game that you pick the categories, and it will determine the questions. The categories are the dish, which are juicy details, cherry on top, which is getting your expert opinion, and cone of silence, also known as let's get personal.
I will do cherry on top.
What key element does a social media show need to have to be successful?
Tough. I was gonna say a hook.
Okay.
But I don't think that's necessary. I think it needs to be able to be explained in one sentence. Like the log line has to be tight. What's Keep the Meter Running? I get no cab. I say take me to your favorite place and keep the meter running. Cab driver takes me to the
Right.
favorite place.
So it's like the elevator pitch.
Yeah, the elevator. If it requires explanation, I'd say it's not a good idea.
What is the worst advice you've ever gotten from an executive or media insider?
I mean, I think the one that is really awful is just like make it a competition show.
Oh.
We need more competition.
Yeah.
Like in Keep the Meter Running.
Oh, really?
I was like, you want the cabbies to?
Who would
not
be competing?
Squid Games. You want them to do Squid Games?
Drive to the death?
And then I think one of them was like, it should be competition and dating.
What?
And they're competing for your love. I was like, this is
I feel like that's
a
been made,
bad
honestly.
idea. Oh, with cabbies too.
Or like that. There's been an iteration
Yeah,
of
The
that,
Bachelor.
right? The Bachelor in a taxi cab.
I just think I was like this in the meeting. I was shocked. I was like, is this really happening? Is this a bit? Like, are we on a
But let me
secret
ask
TV
you a question.
show?
When you were given that advice, because you get in like desperate times, right? Especially in the entertainment industry, as you're trying to like get bought and all those things. Were you like, did you at all consider any of these
No,
things?
that one I was like, this is dumb.
You knew. That's dumb.
Yeah, that one's dumb. I mean, that's such a bad idea.
Is there a city you have not taped in that you think Subway takes would work well in?
I would love to go to Rio, Brazil.
Oh,
I would think that would be really fun.
why?
I just think it's like a great culture. People
Yeah.
are open and vulnerable and happy. I really would love to do Japan, but their etiquette on the train is a little bit different than New York. So I think it might have to be like, so what's your take? You know, they're like very quiet and
Yeah.
but polite.
Also, you would be disturbing the metro system if you were
Exactly.
in Japan. Like that would be a
Exactly.
problem.
And I don't want to be a dick. So I've been hesitant to do it there, but I would love to do it there.
Do you think you have to change the mics now that the Subway cards are no longer?
No.
We have to hold up our iPhones?
No.
Okay.
No, why would we do that? don't break what ain't fixed.
Or go even more old school, bring a coin back.
I could bring a
Talk to the
back.
coin.
Coin's a good idea. That's fun.
Kareem Rahma, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
for
having
playing.
me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
you.
coming on.
Thank you.
All right. That is going to do it for us at Here's the Scoop from NBC News. I'm Yasmin Vossoughian. We'll be back on Monday with whatever the weekend may bring. And if you like what you heard and you saw, press the subscribe button. We'll see you on Monday.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.